Thursday edition of Business Pant Thursday. What the hell are we doing?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what
Joined by
happened.
Analyst Hall Matt Moscardi on today's episode called February 19th, 2026. All the stories Matt missed over the past week game.
Yeah.
Everything is a stupid game on these shows. Everything.
Well, you know that there's that you ever watch The Office?
Yeah.
There's an episode in I think it's the first season of The Office where Pam looks at the camera and says, "We try to save our vacation to as far into the year as we possibly can. This year we got to January 27th or something like that."
That's why you left?
No, it feels like when you said it is February 19th of 2026, it feels like it's 2027 already. I feel like
2026 has been tough. This madman we have in control of our country, ever since the revelations of the Epstein files have been coming out more and more, he's just been acting even more erratically, and it's been tough for most of us that still have a conscience. It's been rough. That's all I can say. It's been rough.
I'm tired.
It's tiring.
So
well, you at least got to go. Where'd you go to Davos? You went to
right.
the North Pole. Where'd you go?
Kind of. So we have friends who have family in Alaska.
Sure.
And
That's debatable.
My wife wanted to take she had one weekend to go skiing this year. It was 4 days.
Despite the fact there are mountains here in New England.
Okay, so it was a 4-day weekend, and we wanted to go to a mountain in New England where we live, and every single trip that we priced out in New England cost more than flying to Alaska and skiing there and flying back. That is not a joke.
I mean,
it was so expensive.
Even a pizza, you basically need a loan to get a pizza.
I don't know how people go, right? It was so expensive.
Yeah.
So we flew to Alaska. We stayed for free with friends. That's why it was cheaper, right? So
was it dark the whole time? Does the sun come out?
No, it was beautiful. Actually, we got beautiful weather. We got fresh powder. The first day we were there, we got really lucky with the weather, and then we flew back and we got stuck in Denver because there was a windstorm, and then we got back at like 4 a.m, and I don't know what day it is. I don't know where I am. That's why
look what
you
you're
told me
back
it's
to. You're
Thursday.
back to
okay,
this.
I believe you. Fine.
Yeah, and just get ready for all the amazing stories that we're covering today.
I'm very excited. Catch me up.
Our show today is being sponsored. Huh? What?
Go ahead. Do the sponsor.
Don't interrupt the sponsorship. Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFlow Analytics and FreeFlowAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power connections to performance for free. In fact, if you're gonna live and die on the bullshit of the meritocracy, it is ostensibly the only database that covers boards of directors that can demonstrate some version of a meritocracy.
Something, yeah.
Because it's not enough to just say we don't like the black guy because we like merit. That's just racism. You can't do that.
That has been enough so far.
That's our current administration, yes, of course. But I don't think that's enough.
Yeah,
frankly.
Let's use a number here, people. Let's use a number.
Back it up.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? You looked like you had something important you wanted to say.
No, nothing important. You said this is a game. What is the game?
Okay. This really stretches the imagination for the definition of a game. I've broken all the headlines into 6 different categories. What you're going to do is you're just going to pick out which of the headlines in the group resonates the most. Which one?
Do you have to use the word resonates?
Which one hits you the hardest? Which is the defining headline of the group?
It's a trigger game.
Sure.
I like that.
It's not our fault. I repeat, it's not our fault. We have sort of objectively, agnostically covered the headlines ever since we started this company and these shows, and this is just what we have to pull from. They read negative, but this is just the world we're living in, people. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Let's get it over with, and let's start with the first category, which I call the scary. This is all the scary headlines, and this is
we're going to start with scary.
Yeah, and this is from the dystopia bag. Okay. Really, we're talking about AI mostly. Mostly AI. Let's start at the top. Microsoft AI chief gives it 18 months for all white-collar work to be automated by AI. This is a guy from Microsoft saying this.
Well, no.
18 months.
You're reading that wrong because you
Okay,
still
go
think
ahead.
there's some adults in the room.
This one startled me.
There are none
Because usually
adults
it's like,
in the room.
usually it's a blowhard, it's some blogger, it's someone in media, you know.
What are you talking about, blogger? The blowhards are the executives at the companies
That's
now.
true. 18
That's
months.
all it is. 18
and
months, though, is not very long.
And to back it up, the second headline, AI will destroy millions of white-collar jobs in the coming months. Andrew Yang warns a driving surge of personal bankruptcies. He's saying it's coming in like 6 months, according to Andrew Yang.
Is that Andrew Yang, like ex-presidential candidate Andrew Yang?
Yeah, yes.
Well, I don't know. It could be a different Andrew Yang. There's a lot of Andrew Yangs.
That's him. Let's stay in the dystopia. Ring cancels Flock deal after dystopian Super Bowl ad prompts mass outrage. Now, maybe this is like one of my only good stories because people got mad at something and a company did a thing, but I don't think it's really going to dent our dystopia. But so I don't know if you remember this ad. There was an ad where the Ring. Everyone has these Ring doorbells. I don't know anything about them. I don't have one of these stupid things, but I guess it's like constantly watching your neighbors and constantly watching people steal your Amazon packages, right?
Yeah.
So the ad was about how using AI and using Ring, they could find your dumb lost dog, but people found it disturbing and dystopian and got mad.
Yeah, because literally it showed like viewing through Ring things, like the dog wandering the neighborhood, and like it was clear that someone is watching through all your cameras, everything happening in front of your face. It's pretty gross.
So they've ended their partnership. This is Amazon, of course, owns Ring. They've ended their partnership with Flock Safety. It was a partnership that would have given law enforcement access to a vast web of Ring cameras. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe it's all a PR move. The head of Ring is Jamie Siminoff, who's now going around apologizing to everyone. But I'm kind of surprised that they actually acted on this outrage. You think it's just PR?
Why is Jamie Siminoff apologizing for
not Jeff Bezos
owned by Amazon's Jeff Bezos?
Yeah,
Why?
well, look. These guys just hide. They hide. He's trying to get
busy on the yacht with.
He's trying to get to the moon.
He's
on the yacht and he's like pretending that he wants to go to the moon because he wants to beat Elon Musk. I don't know. It's a good question. Let's move on. Dystopia category, the scary dystopia category. Platforms bend over backward to help DHS censor ICE critics.
Yeah.
So we're not really in a free speech absolutist phase anymore, are we?
Come on. Like, you believe that in the first place? That was something you were like, you like wrote that down somewhere and you were like, I'm going to take a note of this.
I thought we were in free speech. I thought we're killing woke and cancel culture and getting rid of the people who censor us.
No.
Anyway, how about this one? You probably missed this one. This is the last one in this category. Did you know that Anthropic is clashing with the Pentagon over AI use? Anthropic is one of the AI companies that has a $200 million contract with the Department of Defense. Their relationship's under review. Anthropic wants assurance that its models will not be used for autonomous weapons and mass surveillance, while the Department of Defense said, no, we'll use it for all lawful use cases. That's their quote, which that doesn't sound good to me. And David Sachs, of all people, the venture capitalist serving as the administration's AI and crypto czar. How about that combination? AI and crypto czar. A guy from the VC world, of all people, David Sachs, has accused Anthropic of supporting woke AI because of its stance on regulation. Anthropic is really the only AI company that is making a full-on push that we need to regulate AI. And remember now, Trump administration is basically restricting states from regulating AI. He's threatening states who try to regulate AI. So this is Anthropic is fighting with the Pentagon. What do you think?
Well, the good news is I agree enough with Anthropic that I subscribe to it.
Oh, but the problem here is you do.
Yeah.
Is that Claude?
Yeah, it's Claude. Yeah.
Okay.
Anthropic is Claude. So
I mean, look, they do seem to be the adults in the rooms.
They're not. They're still building it. My problem is that these assholes,
they're complaining but building. Yeah, they're worrying. They're whining. But they're still going ahead.
But they're still like but we're gonna do it because there's
Yeah.
way too much money in it for me. If I don't do it,
And I believe
lose
this
all
is
that money.
I believe this is Dario Amati, and his
Amoti,
sister
yeah.
Amoti, and he has been complaining recently in the press that like it's hard because we want to be safe, but we have to keep pushing forward. We don't know what to do. It's not easy. So he's in that mode. He's a good. I think what he's saying is that I'm a good guy, but we're not doing good guy things, and I'm sorry. I think that's it. That's where he's at.
I feel like that's early Google. Like, don't be evil, and then do all evil things.
So what do you think? Which dystopian story resonates the most?
Oh wow. Well, the number 1 and 2, where the Microsoft's AI chief said 18 months, and Andrew Yang said
all
like,
white collar
less
work.
time.
All
are the same thing. Ring canceling the Flock deal is, I mean, I believe they will just share the Ring data with like ICE anyway.
So it's a
they?
PR
like,
move to cancel
it's all
deal.
PR. Like
right.
the Flock safety is that I'm sure they don't actually need to have a partnership. They could just buy Flock safety or build their own, right? Like they don't.
Why do people even need these things? I mean, if someone knocks on their door, can't they look out the window?
No, here's what you can do.
Yeah.
You don't need to get your things from Amazon, so you don't need a ring.
Absolutely.
To
That's
stop
absolutely true.
Because people are taking your fucking shit, right?
Yeah.
Like you could get an actual bell on your door, so people ring it, you go to it.
Or you could just go to a local merchant and just buy the thing. You don't need to go through Amazon at all.
I just want to point out that the same people who are saying AI is going to destroy all white-collar jobs, AI is going to disrupt everything, the same people who are building Ring and they build Google Maps so you can get everywhere more efficiently, it will reroute you, that'll save you 40 seconds in your life. All of those people who promised you a frictionless future, the totally optimized experience so that you have more time to look out your window. You're not looking out your window. They have all your attention on your phones because all that people do is fucking stare at their phones anymore. And they have not optimized or made your life frictionless. They have created different friction. If you want frictionless, die. It doesn't exist. So embrace the fact that there's friction.
I don't support that argument.
Embrace the fact that there's friction and enjoy your fucking community. Like, enjoy doorbells where you go out and you say hello to the person who delivers on Uber. If you get like an Uber Eats delivery, there's a box you can check that says, I want no contact with my driver.
Is that right?
I'm not kidding. Like,
that's sad.
What is that?
No.
Why are we doing that? Like,
yeah.
These are the bros who promised you a perfect existence, and they're telling you, oh, by the way, we're literally destroying your existence, and you need to pay us to make it better going forward. All of it's a fucking con job. But I think I'm going to pick the platforms bending backwards to help DHS censor ICE critics.
It's not a good look.
That's the most triggery to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like the other ones could be blowhards. Everyone's saying the same thing about AI, and it probably will destroy a lot of jobs. And the Anthropic feels like a good story. I like that somebody's pushing back.
Yeah,
it's like edging towards good, and the Ring's already kind of doing evil stuff. But the fact that these fuckfaces who are all dual class CEO dictators are telling us, oh, we have opened our platform to free speech after Joe Biden canceled free speech, are now literally censoring free speech. It's like when a library pulls a book off the shelf because someone doesn't like it, that they would be outraged. They'd be like, that's ridiculous. But they'll pull down your post. They'll pull down something when you're like, ICE sucks and I get flagged and my account gets canceled.
Or worse, giving over user
handing it to ICE.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah, that triggered me most.
Okay, I guess you won that game. I don't know how. There's no winners or losers. You can't lose in this game. Let's go over our speaking of that. Speaking of big tech, big data. Let's go to our next category. Our big data overlords. Now the first one, it's a good segue. We can thank Citizens United. Citizens United really was that the beginning of the end? The Supreme Court decision, Citizens United.
Yeah.
Is that why we're here?
I don't know. There's never one.
Is that why we have Trump? Who knows? All right. So the first headline: Meta begins $65 million election push to advance AI agenda. So this is not the only headline of this sort, but there are the lobbying, the remember the drain the swamp thing? Trump wanted to drain the swamp, but the lobbyists are just like they're loving life these days because especially out of tech, because they're just spending so much money to basically control law, I suppose, right?
I do like it when the sewer suggests we should drain the swamp. That's always
and
feel good.
Meta sort of famously not too long ago, remember they were completely out of this game. They didn't get involved with any of this. I think that was that Sheryl Sandberg's fault? Was she trying to act adult at the time? But now they're just like, forget it. We're here to control legislators and governments and elected officials and.
Well, he's got a new Sheryl Sandberg now. They hired
Dana Patrick.
Yeah, you're right, McCormick. Something like that.
Wife of a Republican senator, mind you.
I mean, she's like a longtime conservative, and she has no experience doing the things she's about to do, and her role is to basically be the younger version of Sheryl Sandberg. But the opposite, right? Like instead of saying, Mark, you have to clean your room, she's going to say, hey, Mark, it's you know what? It's 2026. It's if you want to leave crumbs in your room, it's your room. It's your room, brother.
Room. Well, he has a lot more than one room. But how about the juxtaposition of the corporations still kind of dominating, controlling our election cycles, and yet shareholders are losing basically rights to vote at their elections. It's a nice juxtaposition.
But not at Mark's election, right?
No. Well, Mark, there's no pointless election.
Didn't have a right to vote for him anyway.
Speaking of Mark, the second story in our big data overlords, Mark Zuckerberg faces jury in landmark trial over alleged youth harm linked to social media. Alleged? If you're a parent, you see the harm that's linked to social media. I mean, even if you're not a parent, frankly, but whatever. So that testimony is going on as we speak. And I'm going to highlight a few moments from this. According to reports, Zuckerberg has not directly answered the central question of the case, whether Instagram is addictive. The plaintiff's attorney, Mark Lanier, asked if people tend to use something more if it's addictive. And Mark Zuckerberg responded, I'm not sure what to say to that. I don't think that applies here. I mean, really, isn't that, I feel like you can be guilty just on that dodge, right? He also said that he believes in the basic assumption that if something is valuable, people will use it more because it's useful to them. So that's why they're spending all that time on Instagram. It has nothing to do with addiction. They just find it really valuable, Matt.
They find it valuable to the exclusion of all other things, including
in their
jobs
lives
and children and friends and.
And then finally, I want to point out this other stupid thing. When asked about his compensation, Zuckerberg said he has pledged. I love when they go right to this. I love when the billionaire overlords go right to this as an excuse. He said, look, he has pledged to give almost all, that's the quote, of his money to charity, focusing on scientific research. And the lawyer asked him how much money he has pledged to victims impacted by social media, to which Mark replied, I disagree with the characterization of your question. Again, aren't you guilty when you say things like that?
That was a numerical question, right?
Yeah, I disagree with the characterization. I mean, what a farce this whole thing. And another headline to wrap up that one, this Mark facing a jury, is that this headline: Zuckerberg's courthouse entourage showed up in Meta Ray-Bans, and I point that out because A, it's incredibly douchey, and B, there's another headline this week, Meta adding facial recognition to its smart glasses that identify people in real time, hoping the public is too distracted by political turmoil to care.
So that last bit, hoping the public is too distracted.
Any of this.
Yeah. That's not the writer
distracted
of the
Instagram. Article
who's guessing that that's what they're hoping for.
Right.
That was an internal memo
Yep.
that said they Meta themselves believe the public will not be paying close enough attention to
Of
care
course.
at this political moment. That's not like some speculative headline clickbait. That is what they actually think about the rollout of this now.
Yeah, it's like a Friday night news dump, right? It's like let's slip the dystopian glasses right now because everyone else is distracted by everything, including Instagram.
That might be the most triggery thing you say today, right? Like, so
I
try
might
to
have
one
some
up
more
it.
later. And then I have two more headlines in our big data overlords. These are quick. Just came out just this morning. Apple sued by West Virginia for alleged failure to stop child sexual abuse material on its devices. No, wait, I have two more headlines. SpaceX, just only because this is just entirely predictable and this is a joke, and you talked about this last week, but I thought I should at least mention the headline. SpaceX said to weigh dual class IPO shares to empower Musk.
Never saw that one coming.
No, I can't believe that's. I mean, can you? I mean, look on its face, the face value of this headline. How is this? How is that legal? How do we live in a system where that's legal? Why should he have more power than other investors? How has that been allowed? How do the listing exchanges allow this shit? I mean, this is a subversion of everything it is to be a human being. What are we doing? What are we doing?
The listing exchanges, let's say they allowed this shit. The institutional investors blame the fact that they hold it on index funds because they have to index to the entire market. And the reason why they have to index to the entire market is because if they don't, then they can get sued for making a decision, effectively not investing in, say, Facebook or Meta, and losing the upside of that. And then they can get sued by their clients, or usually pensioners, for losing out on upside. So in the end, everyone points a finger at everyone else for the reason why dual class shares exist at all, and then everyone's happy to allow them to continue to exist such that they can make the money off of it while having no rights.
And finally, maybe let's end on a good one.
Really?
French President Emmanuel Macron said the free speech defense of social media platforms is pure bullshit, pushing back against the key foreign policy goal of President Donald Trump. Hey, I mean, I think that's the best way to sum it up. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
are we getting closer? Are we getting closer? I mean, this is going to be the reckoning, because you still have people on the left and right who hate this Section 230 thing. I mean, are we ever going to hold these people accountable? Ever? Is it ever going to happen?
No. Well, I mean,
no.
Look.
Okay, no, that's the answer.
No.
The
answer. I don't even need to say more.
Just because France cares doesn't mean anyone else is going to.
I'm picking strictly Meta adding facial recognition to its smart glasses. At the same time, they're actually in a lawsuit about the damage to youth linked to social media. Like that is the worst of the worst to me.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Let's move on. That's our second category. The third category is this. I'm calling this the stupid, and this is the ESG edition. The stupid.
Ooh. And the additions.
The big news out of our ESG world is this disheartening, I guess not surprising, but still disheartening move out of Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs to drop DEI criteria for board members, of course.
Yeah, finally.
And let's not forget, it was only in 2019. This is a funny statement here. This is from the New York Times. They're not attempting to be funny, but in 2019, Mr. Solomon and his top deputy, John Waldron, and the firm's CFO, Stephen Scherr, all three men declared diversity and inclusion a top priority. I love that the three dudes a few years ago, a top priority. When this is what David said, D-Sol, when we unite around a common goal, we make progress together.
So
where has it all gone? Where have we gone?
Their executive officers, there's 8 people. All of them are white. When you look at their management committee, there's 2, 3, 4. There's out of maybe 60 people on the management committee, or 50 people, there's maybe 5 people who are non-white. On the board, they have achieved diversity by having 1,
It's only
to
4 out of 13.
non-white people.
Yeah, and it's only 4 women out of 13, which is pretty low.
What are you talking about? You dropping it because of all the diversity you had?
And the worst part of this, from our perspective of a company, why they're citing that because of a deal that Goldman struck with of all people, the National Legal and Policy Center, the anti-everybody group. They hate gay people, they hate women, they hate black people, and as part of the agreement, the National Legal and Policy Center has agreed to withdraw its shareholder proposal demanding that diversity criteria for the board.
Goldman was worried that the shareholder proposal
can you
might
imagine?
Come out and investors
can you
will
imagine?
Resoundingly reject it.
Yeah, why don't they just replace that crap with just that we're afraid of Trump, or maybe we're not afraid of Trump. We love Trump because he's making us all richer. I mean, just be forward, be honest, like really be candid with really what's happening.
The good news here is, investors, Goldman Sachs is a one share, one vote company. Goldman Sachs is a long-standing, investment bank. You can divest from Goldman Sachs, or you can vote out the board that made this agreement. The board makes this agreement, right? The management team doesn't make this agreement. The board does. So if you want the names of the people on the board, they are DJ D. Saul, but it's Michelle Burns, Mark Flaherty, Kimberly Harris, John Hess, Kevin Johnson, Ellen Coleman, Casey McClure, Lakshmi Mittal, Thomas Montag, Peter Oppenheimer, Jan Tai, David Vinier, and John Waldron. Those are the people that you can vote out. And these people actually, some of them, like, I recognize their names from other boards, right? Like Kevin Johnson was the CEO of Starbucks. These people this is a very small, insular group. Ellen Coleman's at UTC. She's been at Amgen.
Yeah, Michelle Burns, Anheuser-Busch, Etsy.
Thomas Montag is a Goldman, like a longstanding Goldman person. And so is David Vinier, if I'm not mistaken. But
Hess,
Vinier was at
the Hess
Block.
Corporation.
Jan Tai, a General Motors, Huntsman, Progressive, IronNet. Here's the thing. Every one of these people has other board positions. So when you're thinking about how this is fucked up, that Goldman Sachs went and made a deal with the National Legal Policy Center about a board that has no DEI to speak of, to get rid of DEI as a requirement on the board, when DEI is supposed to be a way of measuring getting other people onto this board that are outsiders and might have an outside perspective, and they haven't accomplished that even with the policy. The fact is, you can go vote these people out, not just here, but everywhere they sit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't settle for fucking Goldman.
I don't know what is
the people and
I
say,
don't know
I'm
what
going to
is
fire you everywhere.
I really don't know what's wrong with the practitioners in our industry who are still. First of all, I support you for still being angry about stuff like this, but we need more. As Matt, as you just pointed out, we just need some more creative strategies here. I mean, take some inspiration from the people of Minneapolis and just find ways to fight back. Honestly, like stop the same old crap. Honestly, and to your point, that's an easy way to start. Right? Don't just think of Goldman Sachs directors as Goldman Sachs directors. These people exist on other teams. You can go after those teams too, right? I mean, it's.
And if you need like more fuel for the fire, like Michelle Burns is on the Anheuser-Busch, the AB InBev board. They own Budweiser, who basically flip-flopped entirely on DEI because Kid Rock shot a can and they handed one can of Budweiser to a trans person. Yeah. And they freaked out about an internet troll and rolled back everything. These people have now a history of doing this. Make them pay. And it's not about DEI, the policy was right or wrong. Most of these policies we made fun of 5 to 7 years ago when they were coming out as being window dressing to begin with, because these are insular boards that weren't very diverse to begin with. Even when they add diversity, the data suggests what they add is people who have long-standing connections with the existing directors. They are known quantities. So you're not getting diversity so much as you're just putting other friends on the board, a different friend on the board. I get that the policies suck, but putting out like some release saying the National Legal Policy Center, we struck a deal with it so they won't put a
Speaking of
fucking
trolls.
shareholder proposal that
Yeah.
they would have gotten 0.1% support to begin with. That it would have gotten no support.
It would have been less than 1%.
It would have been less than 1% support to get rid of their DEI. Costco like basically said, "Fuck you. We're not changing our DEI policies." And look what happened to Costco. Nothing. There's no like mass investigation. There's nothing like coming down the pike where there people.
No, it's
know
always
why?
it's
People love
always
fucking
busy.
Costco.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they love it even more now. Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
This one
'Cause the rest,
clearly
you could be
sure.
just as angry
I
at
don't
the-
think you're gonna beat this one.
I got 3 other headlines that you can be just as angry about. I had to pick out this one too because they're like a new. I don't know if they're like a new player in this field of triggery anti everything, but the headline is Inspire Investing CEO: Nike's DEI is a legal liability. Shareholders coming for answers. So they're talking. So the article says that Nike's DEI fight is no longer just a social media culture war argument. And they're saying this only because Trump's administration is trying to turn it into law, but they're the ones who created the culture war argument. You can't use the Trump administration as an excuse. The whole thing just makes me mental, honestly.
Well, Inspire,
yeah.
To their credit, they've been around a little bit. They're like
Okay.
a Boyer researchy in the background. They are entirely a Christian org, and their leadership team, and I mean the entire leadership team, is 100% white and 100% male.
This is a guy. This is run by the CEO's Robert Netzley, who wrote a book, "Biblically Responsible Investing on Wall Street as It Is in Heaven."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's using a made-up place of what is in heaven, fairies and unicorns. I don't even know what's in
there are
heaven.
black people in heaven, actually.
I don't think so.
All I know is that Inspire's coming from Inspire's CEO that DEI is a legal liability when literally your entire leadership team is 100% white men. That actually at least makes sense.
I do like the fact that I like the fact that their
gels.
CEO, you know, Alex Karp at Palantir is always like he's trashing elites and elite education, yet that they all went to Stanford and Duke and whatever.
Yeah.
At least this guy, he got his degree at an online university, so he's a regular guy. This guy online, and I think by online in the cloud they mean heaven, right? Isn't heaven in a cloud?
That's way too. I will have to ask Google whether or not our cloud services count as heaven.
My favorite part of this too was that this comes from a news source called Outkick, which is basically a anti-woke, anti-woman, anti-everything sports media company that makes that says that the rest of the sports media represents an elite left-leaning minority. I as someone who I've seen a lot of sports, I've engaged in a lot of sports media. I didn't see any of the left. Is there a leftist? I'm watching the football. It's a leftist thing I'm watching.
Yeah,
anyway, what made me laugh, what made me giggle, is Outkick is owned by Fox Sports parent company, Fox Corporation. So, but Fox
The
Sports,
most watched news company.
So I don't even understand what's happening here. Like they're angry at Fox Sports and ESPN. Those are really the only two. It's Disney and Fox Sports. Who else has any say in sports these days? Anyway, I got in a little bit of a rabbit hole. That's the second one. The third headline in this series, the stupid from our ESG edition. This is another one that you'll like. Federal agency. Unfortunately, this is the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is suing. They're suing Coca-Cola bottler over work event that excluded men.
That's a new one.
Excluded men. So now we're.
So it was like a women's group within Coca-Cola's bottling company.
I'm sure it was trying to do something with promoting women leadership, furthering their careers. Yeah, they went on a work trip and men weren't, because it was the men wanted to go anyway. But the point being is, this is what we've come to.
Boys,
this is what we've come to. Yeah,
boys, I'm talking strictly to you right now. Are you so fucking sensitive that you have to go to every work? You know how much you hate work events?
What's the statute of
What the
limitations
hell
on
is your
this?
problem?
But what's the statute of limitations? Can we go back and sue every event in the past that only white men were at company events? Can we retroactively sue? Is there a statute of limitations?
I don't know. We should ask.
Right? I mean, what about when the board was only men or only white? Can we sue for that? Can we claw back all your profits from those days when you were excluding against other races?
Well, so you would
when does
have
this
to
end?
advertise. You would have to advertise as white men only, but they didn't say white men
Oh, they
only.
didn't
They just
say
didn't
it,
let
right?
you
They just
in.
did it. They just did
This
it.
time they said this is a women's
Right.
event, and men were, the men were so sensitive
They were
and so
clawing to
triggered,
get in.
such fucking snowflakes.
Yeah.
Have you met like I know like there's a lot of liberals got made fun of a lot for being snowflakes with their terminology,
course.
political correctness, and all that kind of stuff. And it was jokey and funny and like obnoxious.
Yeah, like when you're saying
liberals
when you're
did it,
saying something like racist to an Asian person and then you defend that Asian person, you're a snowflake for getting triggered. It's just a joke, man. It's just a joke.
I mean, but I get that the liberals go too far and they're like policing some language.
Says you.
Could like like your pronouns. Like okay, somebody's gonna be a jerk and not use your pronouns.
human
Then let
to-
them be a fucking jerk and not use your pronouns.
It's human in any context or setting to police each other. That's all we do is we critique each other. That's what we do.
That's all we do.
As humans.
Is there anything more snowflakey and triggered than these fucking conservatives that we're suing because there was a women's group? So like a women's book club. Can we sue them because
Yes.
like it's
Well,
it
yes,
says
the answer is
women's
yes.
book club? What universe do we live in?
Well, this is
where-
why, Matt. This is why
That's fucking insane.
This is why I wanted to attack the Inspire Investing CEO Robert Netzley for claiming that that the DEI fight is no longer just a social media culture war argument, because that's what it still is. It's still a bunch of trolls. Just because the Trump administration is doing it doesn't mean it's not just a social media culture war argument. It's still that. It's still that. Anyway, the fourth headline in this category. Trump revokes landmark ruling that greenhouse gases endanger public health. So this is the 2009 ruling from the Obama era. And I just wanted to point out, there's been a lot of press on this, so I know you've heard of this already. But I did want to point out this headline to support this. Bill Maher eviscerates Donald Trump over biggest dick move in American history. He's calling this action the biggest dick move in American history.
Good, Bill.
So,
I like that. Amongst all your rhetoric about how you hated liberals and trans people were crazy and all that stuff from like
this is
2
the one he
years
cares
ago,
about.
Now we're weighing in on the fact that you're reaping what you sow by having the biggest fucking asshole ever as the president. That's great.
I was looking at some of the reporting around this, and the Republicans are saying, "Hey, now why this is great. I mean, forget the planet, dying." And by the way, scientists are saying basically that like we're getting closer and closer to like Earth being inhabitable. But they're saying, the Republicans are saying, you might save $2,000 on your car, and I'm thinking, well, will that counteract the tariffs, the increase from the tariffs? So
No.
we'll subtract that tariff money.
The
with
subsidies are gone too, and
okay.
yeah,
and all the American car companies are whining about their impairment bills from winding down their EV manufacturing, and they're complaining about that. And I was like, again, it's just like Goldman Sachs to me. GM, Stellantis, all these companies, you don't have to give up. You don't have to stop.
Try a different way. Yeah, fight it.
Why are you winding down? I mean, Europe, as an example, is still buying these things. There's plenty of us who own EVs that love them here in America. You don't have to give up just because Trump is winding down the rebates. Find other creative ways. Make them cheaper. Sell them cheaper. Give your own. You give your own rebates for other models, for gas models. Anyway, those are my 4 stupid ESG stories. You want to pick one, or you already picked one? Did you?
I already picked one. It's Goldman
Go-
Sachs all day long for me. That's the most
Okay.
triggery. But
Let's move on.
But the endangerment finding is probably the most long-term impactful, right? Like
Yeah.
that the EPA now no longer considers a gas that can kill the planet a threat to the planet. That's
Yes.
fun.
Yeah. All right, then let's move over to our the boring headlines. This is our ESG. We're still in ESG. I'll try to go kind of quickly on these. Starbucks investor group urges shareholders to replace directors over labor fight. They're targeting lead independent director Jorgen Nudstrop and chair of the nominating committee Beth Ford. I included this one because I don't know. I like it. Because usually it's, you know what? We live in this world where we constantly have to bow down to all the wealthy activist investors. They're the ones who know governance. They're fighting directors and putting their. But this is kind of an old-fashioned, another version of the alternative democracy at work, and they're angry at how Starbucks treats their employees, and they're going after I don't know. I kind of like that one. I included that one. You got something to say? Want me to move on?
No, I saw this. This is the same group that actually did a dissident slate, I think, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same group. Yeah.
Well, this is a. There are more people involved. This is a group of shareholders. I know, I think the New York City Controller's Office is part of this, and other entities. Let's move on. Second headline: companies are cycling through CEOs and replacing them with first timers. So among incoming CEOs, 84%. This is their first CEO role. 100. So 2/3 have never even served on a public company board. So what do you think about this? Any thoughts about this?
I don't really care.
Not even finding experienced CEOs. But to me, this is what represents the modern version of the meritocracy, right? Are we going back to just hiring people we like, right? Because we don't need experience anymore. Because what the meritocracy really means is you don't actually need experience or education, because as we've proven many, many times over, women and people of color actually usually have the most credentials when they step into these roles. So does this mean we're turning back to just finding whatever schmuck we want and putting them in the job? Is that what we're doing?
Well, so here is the problem.
Yeah.
Of them, nearly half were COOs. And we know from the C-suite data that the vast majority of the C-suite are white and male. And COO is more dominantly white and male. So really what this headline should say is companies are hiring inexperienced white men as CEOs.
That's my point.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's 1987 again, or maybe 1994. I don't know what it feels. It feels like we're reliving the past.
Yeah. Well, that's what Trump
but none
wants.
of it's that surprising.
Third headline: CEO hopefuls have a new rival for the top job, their own board directors. We've been reporting this on our other show, The Proxy Countdown.
For a year.
Yeah. So there's an uptick. A lot of boards are now pulling from. I mean, a lot of companies, a lot of succession plans, they're just kind of giving up and picking a director because they're there, right?
Yeah.
All right. And the last headline here in the boring ESG that you missed over the last week while you were, where were you? The North Pole, South Pole?
Alaska.
Do you only visit states in the United States that shouldn't be part of the United States? Alaska and Hawaii, Alaska should be Canada, and Hawaii should be its own sovereign nation.
I can't help where my family and friends are. That's okay. I can't help it.
The last headline: Wall Street banks are paying their CEOs like it's 2006 again. So to your point, here Morgan Stanley CEO Ted Pick, 32% raised to $45 million. Bank of America Brian Moynihan, 17% up to $41 million. Barclays CEO gets a pay hike. Citigroup CEO Jane Fraser, she's up to $59 million. So that's the other headline. Getting paid like it's 2006 again. Right before the collapse.
I'm shocked.
All right, so you want to pick one of these headlines?
I think that the right one is the company cycling through CEOs and replacing with first timers.
Yeah,
because
your hidden message is important here.
Yeah, this is the dog whistle here. Like this is and actually it's the running theme through all of these things. We've talked about ad nauseum the attack on diversity, the attack on women, the attack on people of color, that this is just a declaration of war. Like everything from the way we're seeing the votes go, who got voted out. The first director voted out in like 2020, late 2025, early 2026 proxy cycle was a black man. We've been reporting on this for a while. This is just more evidence that the meritocracy is bullshit. There is no meritocracy, bullshit,
as Macron says. Yes,
there is no meritocracy. It's all a cloud cover to just put your friends back in power. It's a power grab. That's all it is.
Or if it's not your friends, it's people that won't like make you uncomfortable or won't push you or won't right.
It's still the bro economy, right? Either way.
That's it. Okay, let's move over. You're not going to like this one. The bro culture category. This is the Epstein edition. And I can go quickly on this. It's up to you. I just wanted to cite all the either the people in our database or the top executives that there's been some more fallout over the past week. Let's start with the executive chair of Hyatt. Now, Hyatt is still dominated and run by the Pritzker family, right? They still have majority control, I believe. But anyway, Thomas Pritzker is stepping down. Now, he wasn't fired. He's resigning.
Oh, woo!
He's retiring.
Thank God.
And of course, Hyatt's reaction to the leadership problem here is not to find an independent chair, but to appoint their CEO Mark Hoplamazian as the new chair. So the CEO just becomes the chair. So
that's easy.
And of course they thank him on the way out. They say only nice things. They even praise that their thoughtful succession planning so they're praising their decision to appoint their CEO as chair. I mean, listen. I mean, really, this guy is stepping down because of the Epstein files, and they're patting themselves on the back that they named their CEO a chair to replace the guy who's leaving, who they wouldn't even fire because of the Epstein files.
Verizon patted themselves on the back for replacing their CEO with the lead quote-unquote independent director, Dan Schulman, who's now CEO of Verizon. These boards do seem to think of themselves as doing their job when they point to a guy in the room they're sitting with and say, okay, you be CEO this time.
And then in a letter to the board, Tom Pritzker says that basically he said, I deeply regret my relationship. I exercise terrible judgment. There's no excuse. I condemn the actions and the harm caused by Epstein. I feel deep sorrow for the pain they inflicted on their victims. And yet he's saying that he's crediting himself by saying because his job and responsibility is to provide good stewardship, the good stewardship includes him stepping down. So he's like praising his own decision because he's being a good guy. He's being a good. I mean, all this is. I'm sorry, but this is just it's craziness to me. It's craziness, but it's remarkable that something even happened. I mean, honestly,
did it happen or did he just do it himself? There was no indication the board would have gotten rid of him.
That's true. And according to our data, Free Flow Analytics, Thomas Pritzker and Jason Pritzker. I don't know who Jason's the son of. I don't know if it's Thomas, but they control. They're both on the board of Hyatt. They control 71% of the influence. I wonder if Thomas Pritzker will be replaced by another Pritzker family member, right? I mean, again, what's the penalty here too? He's 73 years old. He's been the executive chair since 2004. I mean, he should have been gone anyway. I mean, what's the penalty here? Is that he had to apologize and he feels embarrassed? Anyway, that's the first story. The second one, Dubai's DP World announced that they're replacing their CEO after the Epstein links emerged. So they replaced Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem. They're replacing him. He was the CEO and chair. They're replacing him with two men. He's been the CEO there since 2016, the chair since 2007. So again, I'm surprised that anything even happened, but he's stepped. And it sounds like here that they did replace him. Like Thomas Pritzker resigned, but they replaced the CEO over there at DP World. Yeah, you just gonna sigh. It's all right.
Well,
I can keep going.
Is it more? It's all
Casey
Epstein.
Yeah. Well, this is the category. Yes, I'm sorry. This is the category. This one's pretty triggering. The talent agency, the Wasserman talent agency, Casey Wasserman, the CEO, is stepping down, but he's selling his part of it for his role, for his friendship with Epstein, and of course he's deeply sorry for his mistakes. But of course he's selling it. He gets to keep the money. I mean, what's the penalty here? There's no penalty. Former Victoria's CEO Les Wexner is testifying in front of the House, part of their Epstein investigation. He's also doing the same song and dance.
Cloud cover.
Yeah, saying I was naive, foolish, and gullible. He's pretending like he didn't know anything was happening. How about this? Back to Goldman Sachs. Their top lawyer, this is a woman now, Kathy Rumler. She's resigning over her friendship with Epstein because, according to the file, she called Epstein sweetie and Uncle Jeffrey. And there's another headline that said that Goldman CEO David Solomon says he reluctantly let her go after this. I mean, but it's a hard decision for you, David. I know, like that's a big one, right? Finally, 3 more. I'll wrap it up quickly. King Charles' brother Andrew was arrested this morning on suspicion of misconduct. This funny headline: Elon's brother quit Burning Man board, so he's still on the Tesla board. And finally, the White House: Donald Trump shrugs off Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's Epstein ties. They don't care about the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's ties to Epstein.
Well,
so
of course they don't. Of course they don't.
He's staying in his job. Yeah.
Because Raskin saw the unredacted files. There were a couple of congressional members that saw the unredacted files.
The unredacted files that were given to them. I'm sure there's a lot of missing files.
Those are the ones that were made available.
I mean, come on, let's be fair.
And Trump himself, his name went from showing up in the files like 50 times to over a million times, right? Like that was the reporting. And even the redactions are so bad because I looked at Pritzker. If you can go search through these Epstein files that they made available, and they made them available really badly, and they're definitely edited so that Donald Trump does never get in trouble.
Right,
and
these
who
are the
knows
files.
if they're burning the files right now.
Of course, we don't know what files are missing.
It's fucking heinous what's going on. But in the Pritzker files, Epstein and Pritzker have an email about meeting at a restaurant, and in one of the files, the name of the woman is redacted. In the other one, where it's just emails piled, the replies are piling up. The very bottom, the name is unredacted.
Yeah,
so,
great.
I mean, not only is it insane, but it's also that victims are being put out in the world because it was so badly done. In order to all they did was redact Trump's name. Like, they didn't care about anything else. Whole thing is gross. Whole thing is horrible. How am I supposed to choose one?
I think you've chosen it. I think you're choosing White House shrugs off Lutnick's Epstein ties, right? Because they don't care. Is that the one you're going to pick? Just pick and move on. It's all bad.
I'm going to pick Goldman Sachs.
How about Goldman CEO David Solomon
that
reluctantly
let go.
What are you doing? What is with this guy? Again, there's no accountability anymore. There's none.
Vote out the entire board, including him.
All the pay goes up for CEOs, and they know because of the cloud cover created by Donald Trump that there's no accountability anymore. They can say and do whatever they want. Really,
that's the truest headline or piece of reporting that's been done.
Scumbag
in recent history.
You should fire her with glee.
But putting out the Meta Ray-Bans with facial recognition because of the political moment, no one's paying attention. That is everything. That is CEO pay. That is the Epstein files. That is literally everybody's looking around, and Trump going after Greenland or Venezuela. All that stuff is cloud cover, so you're not paying attention to something else. These CEOs are not idiots. They know you cannot watch it all, so you're fucked unless you vote them all out.
Let's end with the Blowhard Index for this horrible game.
Is my favorite thing you've said today.
February 19th, 2020. Say, look, we had a lot to cover. You've been gone for like a few months. I only have 3 in this category. 3 really just dumb, blowhardy, horrible headlines. Salesforce co-founder not okay with Benioff's ice crack. Mark made a very bad joke. We haven't covered this yet. Mark Benioff at an annual company kickoff event in Las Vegas told, by my count, at least 3 jokes about ice. So first he asked employees who had traveled to the event from outside the United States to stand up for recognition, and then once they were standing, he made a joke saying thank you, just so the ICE agents know in the building know who you are. That's why he had them stand up.
Wow. You want to know how to make your own employees feel horrible about themselves? Yeah. Do that.
And then he made another joke later in the presentation suggesting that ICE agents were also monitoring those who hadn't yet used a specific new Slackbot tool. And then finally, he made another joke how ICE was looking into employee travel. I don't even understand the joke. Now some of his own people have clapped back a little bit. The co-founder said that he found the jokes to be a violation of the code of conduct, and that they could be considered a fireable offense for a typical employee. Of course, not the CEO. The head of Slack, Rob Seaman, said he cannot defend or explain the jokes. So there you go. Mark Benioff. Again, no accountability. There's nothing. I mean, whatever, right? Who cares, right?
Benioff, I know you're a big donor to the Democrats and or whatever, but between saying San Francisco is a shithole when
bring in the troops
through his conference and it said asked for the troops to invade.
What shithole? What San Francisco is he looking at?
And then doing this, they
saw
held the Super
person?
Bowl in San Francisco, and the reports were people who went to the Super Bowl who had never been to San Francisco were shocked at how beautiful and wonderful the city was.
It is jaw-droppingly gorgeous.
Because everywhere just wrote about how it's a homeless encampment with needles sticking out of the ground.
That's every Western city.
It's unbelievable.
Okay, second blowhardy headline. Elon Musk. It's the first time we talked about Elon today, I think. Elon Musk says Anthropic's philosopher has no stake in the future because she doesn't have kids. So he's calling out...
Didn't J.D. Vance at one point say that only men with families should be able to vote? Wasn't there something like that too?
Elon, what a treasure Elon is. What a treasure. And then finally, Palantir. Is the headline. Palantir, which is powering ICE, says immigration crackdown may hurt hiring. So I looked at their 10K. So they had a 10K 2 days ago. I looked it up. Said that restrictive immigration laws may limit our ability to recruit outside the U.S. And increased regulation of immigration or work visas could also be bad for that. So they're complaining about that. It's a risk. They're ongoing.
I'm picking that one not because it triggered me, because that's comedy. That's
nobody worse.
Comedy.
There's nothing worse than Palantir.
What an asshole.
Bunch of.
Is that it? Are we done? Can I go to bed now?
That's a lot. Yeah.
That was a lot.
Come on, you got to cover stuff.
Honestly, it's important. And if there's a takeaway, look, we're not good about giving takeaways. Here's a takeaway.
Yeah.
Vote out the Goldman board, and every board member on any board they sit on.
Get your hands dirty. Get your hands dirty.
Don't settle for Goldman. Tell them how you feel by getting them out of the office. That's all we got. That's Hazelnut Wallace, also known to his mother, Stadium. I am your analyst, Matt Discovery. We are free float. We'll actually be back tomorrow to wrap the week.
What?
That's the plan.
God, I guess.
We're doing just one show this week.
We'll see.
We'll see tomorrow. But next week, we're back on schedule. There was a shareholder primacy that came out yesterday. If you didn't get that, that's where Mike and Ann Lipton were talking about Warner Brothers Discovery and the Musk Securities lawsuit. They went deep. So go check that out.
We're traveling, too. The show's traveling.
Yes, this show will be traveling to CII in the first week of our second week of March. We will do a live show at CII. CII, the Council of Institutional
Why they
Investors.
want us, nobody knows.
Unbelievable that anyone wants us on stage to talk about stuff, but we're going to unveil some
We
data.
must be
We're gonna
paying
go
to go.
proxy
We must be paying.
It's a Proxy Countdown show, which we'll do next week in advance as well. Until then, good.